Play gigging, your music, your stage, your gig.
I'm Broadway Romero. I'm a director, artist, creative guy, vice president of production at 212 Decibels, parent company of Play Gigging. Everything started, I would say, in front of the computer in my bedroom in the basement at my old house in Fort Washington. Kind of growing up during the growth of the internet, growing up during the 80s when everything was cool cartoons with a clear message and clear visuals, and guys like Ralph Bakshi, who I'm a huge fan of, who was like the anti-Disney back in the 70s. He brought a lot of urban and counterculture issues out with animation. So like anybody that's young that's looking for inspiration in animation, they should look up Ralph Bakshi. He's like from Brooklyn, like he's one of the best. The main thing that inspired me to be a visual artist is my drawing skills. As I took them more seriously, I started to get published, doing like smaller run independent comics. And I was really into creating characters and drawing. Eventually though, I had a cousin that was he was an architect, so he was into 3D software, and he just hooked me up. I kind of put the pencil down at that point. My 10th grade science teacher, he gave me some art software too. I gotta give him credit too, Dr. Ives. Like he gave me this vector drawing software, and like I came back the next day, I created a female character. So all those things are what kind of led up to where it is now. My creative process it's still rooted in a lot of traditional production stuff. A lot of this stuff which I learned along the way, having worked with really good animation teams and graphic teams from a real early age. I worked at Bethesda Softworks, which is still the largest private game company in the world. They did Skyrim and all those legendary games. I was with an elite art team, like guys that we were all the same age, but we were just way far beyond all of our peers, all of our friends, everyone we were in school with, and it was 5 of us. We all learned from each other what is the fastest way to get an idea out of your head onto paper and then onto a screen and into development. But to me, that made me a director, so that's why I was able to confidently go into music videos, animated music videos first, knowing I'd already done cutscenes for video games. It's important to be involved with the recreation of like deceased artists, rappers, because I'm looking to extend the power of the music. Why Easy-E and ODB? I mean, they're like kind of centerpieces of some of the most powerful movements in music history. So from NWA perspective and from a Wu-Tang perspective, like they had a profound effect on my teenage years. To bring it back to hip-hop, though, hip-hop music is the most verbally dense form of art there is, period. 20 seconds of stories told. We owe it to create visuals out of the best of those stories. The visual presentation of hip-hop has been so important. So for me to like be involved with preserving the impact of the music, beyond the artist's ability to perform, like that's a big thing, especially now when we can create visuals that you can't distinguish real life from what we create. So it's just extending the legacy, and knowing that it's coming through working with the families and coming through from a true fan's perspective, somebody that grew up on it. I think it means something.
Play gigging, your music, your stage, your gig.